And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass is Nyren, super producer, getting us started on this Free Your Mind Friday.
Yup.
So be sure that you come in, grab yourself a comfortable chair, a mug or tumbler of your favorite frosty or steamy adult beverage. And don't forget to mind your manners. Say good morning and sit a spell with us here on the front porch, located at the lower end of the overpass of the Norman C. Francis Parkway. Uh-huh.
Yeah, right there.
Yes, right there. Good morning, everybody. It is Free Mind Friday, so get your brass up and shake something.
Mm-hmm.
And get ready to free your mind right here, 504-582-9422. Fast Eddie Francis.
What's up?
What it do?
I'm about to go out there and rush a blade and buck jump with the Pope.
Oh, okay. Everybody will do this triangulation of people being connected to something once something big has been announced. I'm not a fan of that, but sure. But that has been the meme or videos that I've seen lately of the current Pope. Is it Pope Leo?
Pope Leo the 14th. His name is Prevost.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I mean, you know.
Yes, I know.
As soon as we saw
Black Prevost.
As soon as we saw Prevost.
Yeah.
You knew what was going to happen. You knew it.
Prevost. Yeah.
And what happened?
I mean,
Jari Honoré to the rescue.
You know.
Jari. Genealogist extraordinaire. That man dug up as much as he possibly could on the Pope.
Ancestry.com.
So if the
by
Pope,
himself.
if Pope Leo ever had any intentions of not telling people about his people,
yeah.
Oh well. In the words of Pootie Tang, Sadate.
Yeah. So the most current Pope has ties to New Orleans. I think they were saying 7th Ward Uptown.
Yup.
Okay.
Found out where his family went to church and everything.
That is, I have not delved into that, but I did see the video of the transposed Pope's face and garb on somebody's second line and on the front porch.
I mean, hey.
Yeah.
To me, it's appropriate.
We do the most.
It makes sense for me.
We do the
I mean, you look
absolute
at the man. He looks like somebody who had a house on London Avenue and told those kids to get off his lawn, standing outside in his tank top and his slacks.
I guess. I wonder what the implication is going to be of having a Pope.
Get out my good grass.
United States. That's from the United States. I'm curious to see how whether this is going to be a good thing, a not so good thing. We'll all see. We all are waiting to see what the outcome of that is going to be.
I mean, it's all indications are from what I'm hearing. I don't keep up, but I know people who do keep up.
Yes.
I mean, it is New Orleans.
It is. It's the state of Catholics.
I was about to say we got a lot of Catholics.
Yeah.
And so I think from what I'm seeing from people in the Catholic Church, they're good with it. At least Black folks are.
Mm.
And all indications are that he is going to be somebody who is going to fight for the right thing. He's going to do the right thing. So where that goes, how it goes, I have no idea. But I know one thing. That man's name is Prevost.
Yep, he is that. So shout out to the people who are getting some sort of pleasure or happiness from this particular Pope being named. And that was a quick conclave because we've seen that for a very, 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 very long time.
Somebody
We've seen that go for a long, 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 long time.
Somebody posted that the conclave pick took quick. It took less time than Shador Sanders being picked in the draft.
And that whole conversation needs to be addressed because white people and people who support patriarchal and white supremacy, we need to have a conversation about that because we have football players that came from here who said I would absolutely not play for certain football teams, and they didn't find it prudent to humble those brothers.
Okay, so
I don't know sports, so let's start there.
So I will say this because there's this guy who is always present for the NFL draft. His name is Mel Kiper. He's been at it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And Mel Kiper Jr.
Okay.
And he he actually did a very interesting stat, in which he listed all of the quarterbacks who wound up being Hall of Fame quarterbacks who were probably, they looked good in
Mm-hmm.
college. They looked really good in college.
Mm-hmm.
They won a lot of games, but they didn't get picked high. They got picked in the fourth and fifth
Brett
rounds.
Favre was one of those too, right? Wasn't he?
He
Somebody who got
was,
low in
he
the
was.
draft.
Joe Montana was one. Tom
Okay.
Brady was another one. And it's a very interesting list because there are a lot of white quarterbacks on that list. Now, I know that folks see this situation differently because Shador Sanders had a great college career, and the proof was in the pudding that, for as far as a lot of people concerned, that he would be a great NFL quarterback. And the thing that complicates it for a lot of people, well, it complicates it to me, is the presence of his father, of Deion Sanders. And that's because Deion Sanders is who he is. He is bombastic. He is someone who is out there. But the but what people are saying is Shador Sanders is being punished because Deion Sanders is a great father who was standing up for his son. And so I agree with that as well.
Okay.
I think all things can be true in this situation.
Okay.
I do think that it did come out that owners were told not to pick him.
What?
Yeah, it did come out they were told not to pick him.
Mm.
Um, there are some coaches who are coming out and saying, yeah, we had an interview with him. The interview didn't go well because we just didn't like the way he handled the interview. So that part of it is out there as well. But you have had much more problematic players, and
Than him.
I'm gonna say this, black and white alike,
Uh-huh.
who've been picked high in the draft.
Right.
One player who comes to mind is this guy who got picked years and years ago. I think he was picked number one, Ryan Leaf.
I don't know who that is.
And Ryan Leaf was
Leif.
um no, Leaf.
Okay.
He was out of Washington State. He actually got picked first, and Peyton Manning, I think, was in that same draft, who got picked second.
Okay.
And Ryan Leaf just flamed out of the league really quickly.
Okay.
And he was a player who's known to have had an attitude problem.
Okay.
But he went
He
first
went
pick
first
anyway.
round. Uh-huh.
And his attitude problem showed up not only in the locker room, it showed up on the field, and he just didn't make it. So I think people think back to players like him and they wonder, well, how is it that happened then and this is happening now? So I don't think this is an either or thing with Shador Sanders. I think all things are true in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people don't want to accept that because they rightfully so see where the Sanders family is somehow being punished.
Okay.
But at the same time, I honestly I would not be surprised if Shador Sanders did show up to a bunch of coaches as just quite honestly not ready to lead.
So I'm wondering though, like, because I don't know sports like that. I don't follow enough. I hear enough to nod and smile at most of the conversations as it relates to sports. And I do remember prime time and not being a fan of him then.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that his ability to perform on a football field was not proven, because he did the work and he
Oh yeah,
did the thing. So
he
I
definitely had a Hall of Fame career.
yes, I don't begrudge him of that, but for all intents and purposes, he was kind of an ass on the field, right? Must be the money. I remember that, and I was like, "Why are you making music? Please stop." But that's to say the same thing about Shaq, because when Shaq came out with the rap music,
No,
but
Fushnikins.
at the same time, Shaq may have been problematic, but for the most part, he showed up as a big goofy, like big goofy.
Yeah.
He was a big defensive player. He didn't that I knew of or remember. He didn't do a whole lot of smack talking because he didn't have to. He was just big.
He just played. He
You
was
know
a
what
bully.
I'm saying? He
Yeah,
could.
Shaq was a bully.
He didn't do
Yeah.
a lot of smack talking, but like the players that I remember, like Emmitt Smith.
Mhm.
Emmitt Smith wasn't braggadocious,
Mm-mm.
but could do the job.
He could do the job.
He did the job well,
Mhm.
and for players that I pay attention to, do your job, and then also don't shy away from the fact that you're good, because
Right.
Deion Sanders was good, but he was kind of a jerk too. So like when they put that thing on the back end, it was like, but I also don't feel like his kid should be
Punished.
should face some consequences because his dad was a jerk.
Yeah. Monty is Sling. Monty, what's up, Monty? He's actually bringing up one of the best examples of somebody who should not have gotten multiple chances, and that was Johnny Manziel. And Johnny Manziel was a problem in college, and he became a problem in the pros. He's gotten to a point where he admits all of his stuff and he talks about it. Johnny Manziel even campaigned for Reggie Bush to get his Heisman back.
Okay.
But yeah, Johnny Manziel was one who was just a problem. And the dude who's with why is his name not coming to me? Quarterback for the Buccaneers. Nyron, who's the quarterback for the Buccaneers? Why can't his name come to me right now?
You know that.
But he
I only know that.
But he was a problem in college.
I know what the mascot looks like for the Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers.
I
Save
can't
me
help
somebody.
you anywhere else with that.
Yeah.
He's the current quarterback?
He's the current quarterback. Why is this man's name not coming to me?
Let's see. The current quarterback for the Buccaneers, Baker.
Kyle?
Let's see, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know why I was about to call that man Bubbly Burster. But anyway, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, he was a problem in college.
Okay.
Yeah, he was an attitude problem in college. He did stuff that was just, he was really immature. And honestly, he was immature when he got into the pros, and he is just getting to the point where he's starting to mature.
Okay.
But he got an opportunity.
So, and how high did he get selected in the draft?
That's a good question. I'll find out in just a second.
We'll look that up while we're on the break. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. It's Free Your Mind Friday. If you got something on your mind, want to get it off your chest, give us a call, 504-582-9422.
Hi, I'm Leo Jackson, host of Sunday Gospel here every Sunday morning, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 12 o'clock till 2 p.m. You don't want to miss this move of God. It happened only on WBOK. You listen to all day long.
Hi, this is Arnie Filko. Let's elevate every Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. as we discuss the community, the country, and the world, from politics to current events to sports. We look forward to your input and continuing the quality programming on your community station, WBOK. Join Carrie and I every Tuesday through Thursday, 6 to 7 o'clock p.m. on Elevated Conversations, the Arnie and Carrie Show. See you soon.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis.
And on the other side of the glass is Nyron, as he is watching the excitement on my face as I prepare to transfer this new Starbucks gift card that I got for day 4 of Teachers Appreciation Week. It is indeed the last day of Teachers Appreciation Week, and thus far I have had a time. This gift card is $10.
Oh, congrats.
This is my second one. The first one was $5. So I was like, oh, $5, that goes a long way with coffee and stuff. And my Chick-fil-A gift card, shout out to Kylie and Kylie's mom. Every day somebody has gotten me something. Let me start there.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's very, very cool. I've gotten school supplies. I told Grayling yesterday that teachers have this obsession with pens and school supplies. I've gotten snacks, which I love, from the kids. Today I got, yesterday I got healthy snacks. I got some granola, some fruit, and some other snack stuff that I was supposed to bring Nyron so that I don't become 2 tons of fun. But this latest gift card, shout out to the parents who really have met me at the end of January, and it is only May, and have really shown out. So thank you. Shout out to all the teachers and all the hard work that you all put in. And also happy Nurses Week to nurses as well, because it is their week also. But yeah, it's been a very gift filled event, and thank yous and attempted hugs, because I don't like to be touched. I do not. I will high five you immediately, or hand hugs. You know how to do the hand hug?
What's the hand hug?
Hand hug.
Oh.
Yes.
You don't do the side hug?
The TP hug. I used to when I taught middle school kids, and I've talked to some of our Front Porch family about that before. And middle school and high school kids get the TP hug for other reasons, because they come at you crotch first, which is gross. Oh yeah, no, it's the it's it's the tucked hips going in for the hug. And no, keep your body parts away from me, shoulder to
That-
shoulder, and just to keep it
that's,
all separated. We will hand hug it out.
That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Stop
That's
touching me.
really a lot happening in one hug.
Listen, and I'm not
a whole lot
tall, right? In my mind, I'm a lot taller than I actually am. I really do like, and other people think I'm taller than I am too. It's like, oh, you're not as tall as I thought you were. It's like, I know I'm short. I'm 5'5". I'm not tall by any stretch of the imagination, but my presence is big. So when I'm in, yes, people think, and I talk like I'm 6'5", carrying 2 pistols. To most people in situations. So when the boys come, oh, Miss Dupree, and it's the last shift as they get to you, and it's like, no, absolutely not. We're not gonna do that.
Plays the game like she's 11 feet tall.
Right? No, we're not gonna do that. And then one of my very first students, I taught middle school my very first year at St. Peter Claver. 6th grade was my homeroom, but I taught 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math. 4 grades of math. And my homeroom, like, that's your group that you typically have more time with, because you teach them and they're with you in the morning and the afternoon. And one of the kids who I'm still in contact right now, she's a mom and has been married for quite a few years herself. She was sick. She got sick in class. And I didn't start teaching until I was a mom. Like most people who go into the profession, they go in early. And I didn't start teaching until I was, I think, maybe 28, 29. So I'm 28, 29. I have a kid who's less than 1. My mothering instincts are on high. And she got sick, Ashley. She got sick in class. And my thing was to get her to the trash can and just like calm her and, pat her back while she's, going through the things. The very next day, I could not go to work because whatever she had, I had. So I started a firm no hug policy. No, don't touch me. And if we touch, I hand sanitize to the gods.
They're carriers. They're a bunch of little carriers, man. They carry all kinds of crap with them.
Off-putting for them in the beginning, which is why I've only taught as young as 3rd grade. Because 3rd graders understand sarcasm, and they also get like boundaries because they start to set them for themselves. But they get it. Like, okay, Miss Dupree doesn't like hugs, but we can high five, we can fist bump, and all those other things. But that first year, I was like, you can't be in close proximity like that, even though your instinct is to, find and console and help, because that's somebody's, not my baby, it's somebody's baby who's sick.
Yeah, a little germ carrier belongs to
somebody.
somebody.
My God, are they outbreak monkeys? You have no.
I've seen it.
My God.
I have seen it.
Oh my God, it is hilarious. But
I've seen it. Yeah. Didn't experience it.
But the group, the crop I have right now, they're fun. They're funny, and I've been enjoying being with them over the last few weeks, and they have shown that I ain't so bad. I ain't so bad. So shout out to the parents. Shout out to the kids who really have they've done some good work, and they've been growing right now, and they just finished testing, so we've had a good time.
Oh, good.
And this week, like I said, they have definitely showered Miss Dupree with all the things.
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
That's really nice.
So did we come up with this football player who?
Baker Mayfield. Who's taking first? First in the draft.
And what's his name again?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. That's the guy who's the quarterback.
Quarterback, Tampa Bay. He was a problem in college. Yeah, he was a problem child. But yeah, he was taken first in the draft, so they were able to overlook his stuff and take him first. That's the thing.
So, if people are problematic and they get rewarded for their poor behavior, that should be the rule for everybody. If that's what we're going to do, let that be the rule for everybody. If you
a lot of things should happen, yeah.
If you have something that organizations feel is a benefit, and that's the ultimate goal, is for you to provide that particular service, and we overlook your bad behavior, then go ahead and do it. And I mean, we've had that happen in so many different entities where people's bad behavior have not stood in the way of their progress or their ascensions in their areas of influence. So if that's gonna be the rule, let that be the rule. Not saying that that's the right way to go, but if that's gonna be the rule, stop coming up with all of these arbitrary disqualifications for people not to be rewarded. If you're doing the job that they're asking you to do, and you're letting stuff slide, let it slide.
Yeah, you do have to decide one way or the other. It's particular. It's really interesting because I put my recruiter hat on.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a position where I have interviewed somebody about a job,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gone to the hiring manager and I've said, okay, listen, if this is what you want, this is the kind of person you're going to get. If that's what you want, then you might not want this person because here are their tendencies, here's what they want to do.
Here's what else they come with.
And the hiring manager say, well, is the person going to come in and produce for me? It's like, yeah, they're going to produce, but it's going to come with a price.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you understand what the price is because they might tear your office up. And they hire the person who, and here's the thing that's funny. I've sat on search committees and I've heard the conversation where people know good and well that the person that they want to hire is going to tear stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to take that risk. They take that risk. Person comes in, they start tearing stuff up, and then everybody acts surprised. And you're sitting there going, "Why are you surprised?"
Yeah,
because
why are you
told
surprised?
because you heard something in this person's interview answer that told you they're going to be a problem.
This is going to be a problem.
You know. But then you have the people on the search committee or in these hiring groups who will say, well, hey, we took so-and-so who was a problem. Why can't we take so-and-so who's a problem?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a sticky part because now the question becomes, well, if you're trying to break the cycle, if you're trying to improve things, you do want to change the way that you evaluate people.
Mm-hmm.
And you do want to change who you're hiring to do this job.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you want to actually change things.
Or is that just a catchphrase that you want to use and say that you want to change things and you have no intention of making any changes? Because that's
do that too.
Oftentimes
Yeah.
what it is.
People do that all the time.
We want to give the appearance
Mhm.
that we're changing things, but we're gonna kind of keep doing what we know works for the benefit often, which is monetary. As long as we're still able to make these bullet points and arrive at this bottom line, we're just kind of find a way to shield the people looking at the problems and
Yeah.
keep them from seeing the problems.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why, people in leadership positions, they have to make these really, really tough decisions sometimes. And sometimes the decision has to be, I really, honestly, truly want to change the organization.
Mm-hmm.
That means that I'm going to have to get rid of some people. That
Mhm.
means I'm going to have to hire different types of people. And that means that some of you are going to have to just learn how to do your jobs a lot differently.
Mm-hmm.
Others, I want you to keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a great job. And that often puts a lot of leaders in tough positions a lot of times. And the ones I feel the worst for are the leaders who get hired to come clean up a mess somewhere. I feel horrible for them because they have to go in and they have to be the jerks. They have to be jerks for like 3 years, and they have to be willing to be public enemy number one for like 3 years. And everybody and their grandmama knows that the organization is a mess. And everybody knows why it's a mess.
Yes.
Yet when the leader comes in and says, listen, here's the situation. I know the situation. You know the situation. We all know the situation. I'm going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to change this process. We're going to have to do this. We're going to have to reassign some people. Others, you're going to have to get some professional development. Some of y'all just going to have to flat out go. And
everybody starts to pissing and moaning because, we got to change this. Yeah, it's bad. I know it's bad, but we really got to change this in order to get some. Yes,
right.
It's bad. Oh, but we got to. And so that person ends up not having the longevity because nobody likes what they are doing. Hence, they start not to like them.
And people don't like change by nature. People do not like change,
People-
even if it's for the best. Sometimes
People don't like change that inconveniences the small perks. They don't want to give up the small things for the larger things, because the changes that are trying to be brought forth are going to provide ultimately a larger correction and benefit. But those little perks, and it can be like just the most minute, stupid things that is like, this, if you think about it, this really isn't a perk. It's kind of like it's like that touch of a happy pill that lasts very short, but you're willing to hold on to that short happy pill instead of getting the great change or the great fix that's going to keep you from having the annoying cancer that's in your body right now or in your
I don't
organization.
like this. Every Friday before Mardi Gras, we got to work half a day. Now we got to work a full day. I don't like this at all. This is not good. And it's just like, yeah, well, there's a reason this person is coming in and realizing that everybody should be working a full day on Mardi Gras, on Friday before Mardi Gras, because the organization is not producing.
And not only that,
Y'all, the organization is drowning.
the light at the end of the tunnel may be that when you come back, you're not coming back to such a big cluster.
Exactly.
But I'm used to getting off when. All right, so
I gotta go get my
okay,
outfit.
so let's talk about it. That's the right.
I gotta go get my
Let's
outfit
talk
for
about
Zulu.
it, right? You're gonna get a full day and maybe some other perk. So what can you do to make up for the loss of the time that's also gonna give you less headache on the other side? Like, I don't feel like people are willing to have the conversations beyond that, or because the target of the leader is like, I gotta get this done, so I really have time to talk about. I have time to talk to you about that, so hence you don't get the buy-in from the people.
Right.
But again,
right.
ultimately, you end up holding on to something that's very, very minor, and lose something that could be a larger impact for you in the long run. So I don't know. It's all nuts. It's people crazy, and the short-sightedness. It rears its head every time. Like the people right now in government, you wanted to hold on to having a white male in office. Truck drivers are losing money and going to have to find other means to support themselves because they're showing up to ports where there are no loads for them to pick up. How long can you survive on that? Then you have, is it in Mississippi or Tennessee where they're checking the English proficiency of people, whether, or is it Arkansas? It's somewhere in one of these red states, checking the proficiency of whether or not people can meet the English speaking requirements. And natives of this country are having problems meeting the requirements. Like, y'all wanted to keep the status quo, and it's all to your detriment. And change and losing small things, or things that you perceive to be big that are actually small in the grand scheme of things, are going to keep you in the turmoil and the discomfort that you said that you are tired of. It's really, really crazy on how those things are intertwined. How you want to hold on to the just small things. Like, I want to have equal rights for everybody except this group of people. So you're gonna hold yourself back from having equal rights or care and concern because you want to keep somebody else out of it. Like, stupid. That's dumb. That's really dumb. Do you see how those themes like kind of transmit over and like translate over several different conversations and entities?
It's, I mean, but you know, I have this frat brother named Gregory Parks who he did this really interesting video once, because one of his areas of expertise is organizational culture. And he talked about the nature of having a conservative environment, not political, but a conservative environment in terms of attitude, and a liberal environment.
Okay.
And people who have a conservative attitude are just that. They want to conserve things the way that they like them, or the way that they've seen things. They want to conserve the status quo. They want to conserve something. People who are liberal, they want to liberate folks from a particular environment. They want to liberate themselves from a particular environment.
Mm-hmm.
What people who have conservative nature never think about, though, and what they do think about it, they're afraid of it
Okay.
a lot of times. People who have a conservative attitude, and just to make sure that we are clear that politics is coming out of this, let's say people who belong to a certain church,
Mm-hmm.
or a certain fraternity, or a certain sorority, or a certain organization, or a certain company, and that they have done things a certain way for many
Ever.
years.
Yeah.
And you have people who have conservative attitudes who say, oh, no, don't you change the way we do things here,
Mhm.
right? But the problem is that what they don't see often is that you don't advance as an organization by doing the same thing all the time forever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say the same thing, I'm not talking about things like rituals and traditions and that sort of thing. I'm talking about the way you operate,
Yes.
the business operations. And so that's what conservative people never see coming. They never see, or they see it coming, but they want it to be done their way, and it's not going to be done their way.
Mm-hmm.
What people who have a liberal attitude, I think, sometimes miss is that sometimes, and I count myself as one of those people because I find myself often wanting to liberate myself from a particular way things are being done.
Mm-hmm.
But what a lot of us tend to miss, our blind spot a lot of times tends to be sometimes we want to change stuff that doesn't have to be changed.
Correct.
And it's just like, man. So I see this in marketing all the time where people have a particular brand or a particular, tagline or something. And it's been around for 3 years. And everybody's like, oh, when are we going to change it? It's like, well, we're not going to change it.
Okay.
Now, in my heart, I want to change it because I've been watching this thing for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I'm not the customer. You get a new customer all the
Right.
time. The customer is going to be new to them, or it's going to be that customer who says, I love this slogan. I hope they never change.
That's what keeps me here.
That's what
It
keeps
makes
me
me
buying
safe.
this
It makes me
product.
feel
That's what
safe.
keeps me buying this service,
Mhm.
right? But internally, if you have too much of a liberal attitude, what winds up happening is you're like, this time change this thing. You change the logo, you change the branding, and then all of a sudden the customer goes, hey,
Where's my stuff? Why I don't feel safe? This is
I
something
didn't buy it
different.
because I didn't think it was the same product.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all changed a bunch of stuff. Why'd you change your logo?
Mhm.
And that's so that's where, I'm one of those people who looks at the fact that you have to have balance in all situations. And what you're talking about is people who just fail to have balance. They
Mhm.
fail at it miserably because they are also following a model, and we've talked about this before, where everything is about what the individual wants.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I want. This is what I want.
Let's talk about that. We're going to take this break, y'all. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Do you know what United Way can do for you and your community? Find out by listening to United Way and You every Thursday at noon on WBOK 1230. United Way continues to fight for the most vulnerable members of the community. Find out how this Thursday and every Thursday at noon.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Here on WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass is Nyron. Coming back from the break, we got a little bit of company. I mean, not really company, but yeah, company. Welcome back to the porch. Justin, say good morning. Tell the people who you are.
Good morning, people of the Front Porch. I've been on before, but not frequently.
No.
I usually try to stay off the mic. Leave that to y'all professionals. But
yes.
Good morning.
But as our GM, tell the people
who
you are. I don't think you've ever done the whole spiel of tell the people who you are, where you're from, where your people from. I don't think we've ever gotten you.
I probably don't.
We've never gotten you into that one.
Yeah, I never tell people. I don't know why. I know Naren fuss at me all the time. Like, you ain't gonna tell them who you are?
Well, let's do that.
All right. So I am Justin Lewis. Mm-hmm. I am the general manager here at WBOK 1230. Yes. I am born and raised in the great city of New Orleans, from the East, East Beast, as we used to say way back when. Went to McMain, proud alum there. I graduated, I guess I'm going to age myself. I got a little bit of age on y'all, a little younger, by a couple of years. But I graduated in 2005 from McMain.
Yes.
And then we all know what happened 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. As we were getting ready. And so I ended up in Monroe, Louisiana. Went to school out there at ULM, graduated there, and spent some time in Dallas, and made my way back home.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and we're glad to have you at the helm of WBOK 1230 AM. And there have been a lot of things and a lot of changes that have been taking place at your direction. So, share with our listeners what's going on here at WBOK.
We got a lot going on. And it's not just from my direction. I mean, you guys do all the hard work. I'm in the back answering phone calls, sending emails, but we couldn't do it without the great people here, especially the producers, the behind-the-scenes people, our on-air talent, our friends, families. I don't know, Eddie, I don't know what we call you, but you're a part of the...
I'm just some dude who shows up.
You're a part of the family.
I just show up.
Oh, man.
But we are definitely growing And it's interesting, right? Because with everything going on in the world and how a lot of things are losing resources, kind of the benefit of us being locally owned, a lot of our resources don't come from the government, things like that, right? So with NPR taking a hit and a lot of things like that, we don't necessarily, we're not impacted by that, so to say. But, a lot of our keep the lights on and to keep, you guys on the air comes from our sponsors and our partners and things like that. So I know there's been a bigger push for advertising and stuff, and we definitely need it. It's a must, right? Because that's how we're
if you
able.
listen and you know people who you've heard Uncle Graylin say it several times.
Yes.
I'm going to reiterate it. You spend your time with us, and so if there's a product or a service that you know of that needs and would benefit from advertising, do it with us. Do it with your people.
Yeah, hands
right
down,
here.
hands down. And it's important because WBOK has history here in the city. But for those that don't know, we are the only Black-owned radio station here in the city of New Orleans. We are one of 3 in the state of Louisiana, and one of 260 some odd in the country.
Wow.
And so that is huge and that's big, right? And we want to continue to be that voice and be a platform, but we need help to do that, right? And so, this is a shameless plug to get some help.
It is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of ways for you guys to help and support us, right? One of the major ways is by, advertising and sponsoring. If you want to be a sponsor of the Front Porch, we can definitely, make that happen, to have some ways to do that. So like Kimber was saying, any organizations, businesses, anything like that, you have a product, you have a service, call us, let us have a conversation to show you how we can help amplify your brand and help you out on there. Another way you can support us is, now I get Kimball to talk about it all the time, is that our podcast network is up and running.
Yeah.
So every live show that you hear on WBOK is also in podcast form. And we have some, Nyron cut me out.
Mics. Oh, I
Hello?
didn't hear anything. Yeah.
Are they
still
good?
out.
Oh, we still going?
We're still
Okay,
right?
sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just in here.
So our podcast network is up and running. So all of our live shows are in podcast form, and we have some original content that's on there as well. So you can search any podcast platform that you use to search WBOK Media, and we'll pop up there. So that's definitely one way to help us out. Download, subscribe, like, all the good things there.
Yes.
In addition to that, we have something that's new, which is our membership plan, where you can become a member of the Front Porch, or a member of the Reality Check, member of the Good Morning Show, just a member of WBOK. And now we're going to put all the links in there. You can go to our social page. We have our links in our bio. But that membership helps us continue the great products and services that you hear and the great shows that you hear every day on WBOK. And membership starts as low as $5 a month,
Yeah.
right?
Less than a cup of coffee.
Less than a cup
some
of coffee,
places.
right? And so there's ways to support us there. Even if you want to make like one-time donations, things like that, that's also a possibility. And we have some other stuff that I am so excited about, that I've shared with the team here, that we're working behind the scenes. I can't tell you all the details yet.
Oh, boo.
Just yet. But it is definitely groundbreaking, and is really going to amplify us and give the people more of what they love. And I've been tempted to spill the beans, but I'm not.
Hold tight. Hold
I'm
tight.
gonna
Don't
hold
do it
tight
yet.
on it.
Coming.
But
Keep the
it's-
beans in the pot.
But it's definitely coming. But again, just following us on all social media platforms helps. And continue to get the word out. Like, we have our merch stores up and running as well. You can go to our website and purchase some WBOK merchandise. Just a lot, man. We have a lot going on, and we're growing. And yes, I'm excited for things to come. Yes, that's all I can say right now.
And so some of the links to the newsletter is located in the chat. Also, the link to the amplifying voices, where you can find some of the merchandise and also sign up for the membership. Oh, and you have a question from one of our Front Porch listeners, Mark Joseph asked. He said, Justin, the GM, so you're the person who's responsible for reprimanding Kimber the next time she talks to me crazy.
All right.
You heard that laughter, right, Mark? I just want you to know.
So, yes and no, right? I think Kimba has an amazing gift at what she does here. And the personality that you see on air is the personality that we get. And she is straight to the point and all of the great things. But I will say, like my Uncle Grayling say, mind your manners. So if it's if it's her, I'll get on her. But if it's you, I'm gonna get on you too. So, but Kimber is great, and we love her here. And behind the scenes, I give her a hard time, but she's part of the reason why WBOK is so successful.
Well, thank you very much. You got that, Mark? Mind your manners. Also, Linktree has additional sites where you can get other information like the podcast network, how to support. It has links to all of our social media platforms, which we're on a lot of them. In case you did not know, I know many of you all get the content from YouTube and from Facebook. We also have an Instagram page. We have a TikTok page. We also have Twitter, Twitch. And you can also get other information on LinkedIn and, of course, our very own website. So when you hear me talking about the podcast and other ways for you to catch up on shows maybe that you had missed or want to revisit some of the conversations, by all means, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbeam, and any other platforms where our podcasts are located. And we love interacting with you all online. We appreciate the fact that you have that you give us feedback, because it does help with us bringing information that is important to you all. And I mean, the Front Porch is definitely the people's page, because if you bring it up or you talk about it, for the most part, we will interact and have conversations that you all are interested in, conversations that you won't necessarily hear in other places. Yeah. So if you like the content that we have here on WBOK, show us some love and bring us some dollars, because that's the only way we can stay on. This is not volunteer work, y'all.
Definitely. And one thing I will say, and I guess I'm gonna spill a little bit of the beans, right? Part of the membership plan, depending on the level that you subscribe to, is a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I know that's one of the biggest things here on the Front Porch, that the behind the scenes is the show of itself, right?
Yes, it is.
And so you'll get access to that. A lot of like I say, a lot of individual content from our hosts and our talent. But I guess one thing I will say that we're coming out with, this is just the start of kind of what a new WBOK will look like, is that we are coming out with our very own WBOK app. And so this will be not only a mobile app, but an app that you can download on your TV as well to have some video content. So it's coming. Like, these are the things that we have been working on behind the scenes. These are the things that are really going to help us amplify our message and our voice. And there's a lot more to come. But that's just a little bit.
And this is, Cam brought it up because we've been threatening this for a long time. She said, Justin, we need a Front Porch meetup. It could raise money.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
And we have been threatening this now. This is my third year here, but my second year, I think, on the porch. And they're about ready for the Front Porch.
The summer is a good time for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're
talk a little bit more.
We're gonna make that happen.
Yes.
All right. Cam said that, right?
Cam. Yes.
I got you, Cam.
Cam San Diego.
I'm saying
Cam has her own song and everything.
You gonna be here? How we gonna make that happen?
Cam will come. Cam has been to the station. I don't know if you were here when she came, but Cam is in town frequently. She's a New Orleans native. She's bi-coastal. Well, she's our West Bank, Camp San Diego. We never know where she's gonna be, but she will come for sure. And she just said, "I'll be there."
Gotcha. We'll definitely make that happen. I think this summer, me and Kim are gonna talk out the details, but that has been kind of working behind the scenes. We haven't really ironed out all. But we're gonna make that happen.
But it's coming. So y'all, we're gonna take this break. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. New Schools for New Orleans is committed to celebrating the hardworking teachers of New Orleans. Thank you to all the educators who came out to the 4th annual NOLA Teacher Fest at Champion Square. We had over 2,000 attendees. Special thank you to our sponsors, Allstate Sugar Bowl, Entergy New Orleans, Raising Cane's, Align Ed New Orleans, Agenda for Children, and Oshner Children's for their commitment and support. Teachers and school leaders, enjoy the summer break.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black pastors in Grand Rapids, Michigan are disappointed but not surprised at the jury's deadlock in Christopher Scher's trial for the murder of black man Patrick Lyoya. Pastor Jerry Bishop of Life Quest Urban Outreach says the justice system needs changes.
The question is where do we go from here? There would have been no victory regardless of the outcome. Our city is fractured.
Bishop called for justice system reforms, including police training and mental health investments. President Trump is considering raising income taxes on wealthy Americans to fund the 2017 tax breaks set to expire next year. Congress is debating a budget package to extend those tax breaks. And Netflix is rolling out a redesign for its homepage on TV screens, the first big makeover since 2013. Starting next week, the page will feature fewer titles and more videos. Company officials say the goal is a sleeker design. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass is Nyron, super producer. It is Free Your Mind Friday. If you got something on your mind, want to get it off your chest, give us a call, 504-582-9422. That was a great conversation with Justin just now.
It was.
And then the off-air conversations are always the best. Because
let me tell you what he said, y'all. I'm joking.
That's when you get all the good stuff. But
I love the app thing. That's really cool.
There's a lot of new things that are coming forth here at WBOK. And for those of you who have been, for real, rocking with all of the transitions and all of the changes, some you may agree with, some you may not, but it has been in an upward moving direction, and there's more to come. So don't forget, you have the opportunity to join as a member. There are going to be some member perks, Cam. We have been threatening this meetup for a very long time, and I think we're going to get closer to this as summer comes forward. But yeah, it is it's a lot of moving and shaking. And speaking of moving and shaking, 504-582-9422. Hello, Elwin.
Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Eddie Francis.
What's up, Elwin?
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good.
How you feeling today?
Another thing, huh?
How you feeling today?
I feel fine.
Okay,
good. Y'all ought to have a T-shirt with WBOK on it and advertise it. This is WBOK. Hoodie or T-shirt.
We have a lot of those things.
We got that. We got apparel, man. We got gear.
We have gear.
Oh, y'all do?
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We have polos. We have coffee cups. We have tumblers. We have a whole lot of different things.
Yes. Go to WBOK1230.com, sir.
Okay, well, I didn't know that.
And click merch.
I don't have a computer as yet, but I'm planning on getting one. But it's probably gonna be after everything is done.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right. Well, have a friend. Have a friend look it up for you.
Okay.
I don't know.
How you doing, Kim?
I'm doing well this morning. How are you doing? You say you're doing all right, but what's going on?
I'm doing fine. Doing fine as well as be expected. I have no temperature, and I'm doing good. I have no fever, so I'm doing good.
Very good. Have you done your exercises already?
Yeah, I've done some of them. I can't do them all because it'll put a stress on the knee.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But I'm getting around some of them.
Okay.
Some of them, I'm getting around some of them.
Very good. Very good. But to answer your question about the apparel and the shirts and stuff, we have T-shirts. We have shirts that have the dry mesh in the polo. We also have the the quarter zip cadet collar pullover. We have bucket hats. We have baseball hats. We have long sleeve shirts. We also have a hoodie, and we have a snug fit beanie. And all of these things are located on the website. We also have wristbands. We have lanyards. We have temporary tattoos if you so desire. And
I never mark my body.
Well, they're temporary, so they don't stay long. We also have tumblers, 40-ounce tumblers. We have collapsible foam coolies or is it called a koozie?
Yep.
Koozies. We have the skinny tumblers. We have wine tumblers. We also have coffee mugs in both white and black. So all of these things are available on the WBOK1230.com website.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad y'all do have that.
Yes, we have.
I didn't know y'all had
lots
that.
of those things available.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So what you got going on this weekend?
Oh, I'm just going to sit at home. I missed the Jazz Fest, so ain't too much I'm gonna do. I might, if I can go to the Essence Festival, I might check out the Isley Brothers or Boys to Men, but that would be the only ones. If I could go, I'll go to that. But other than that, I mean, I'm gonna be inside.
Now you don't have to wait for jazz. I mean, for our Essence Fest. They got the NOLA Food Fest that's gonna be happening on May 17th, right?
Oh yeah,
And that's gonna be at
it's gonna be at the same place.
That's gonna be in Congo Square.
Okay.
That'll be
What about
starting
the
at
Fried Chicken
1
Festival?
p.m. About the that doesn't happen until the fall. That's like in October.
Okay.
Yeah, late September, early
Okay,
October.
I'm probably gonna be in rehab then.
And
No, I'm probably gonna be in rehab. So.
there are several other things that are available for you. You have the Greek Festival that happens.
What is the Greek Festival?
That happens near the Greek church. It's along Bayou St. John, if I'm not mistaken.
St. Bernard and Allen Toussaint.
Is it Robert? Well, it's not Robert E. Lee anymore.
Allen Toussaint.
It's Allen
Mhm.
Toussaint. That's the 2025.
Is this true about the Greeks? When they break their arm, they don't holler.
I have never heard of such a thing.
Never heard that one.
Break anything on them, they don't holler. I mean, I heard that somewhere, and I heard that somewhere, but I can't remember where that is. Where I heard it from, because it's been years ago.
Okay,
when they break a bone or break their wrist or something, they don't holler and stuff, and they go get it repaired, but they don't. When I fell out of the Circle Food Store basket years ago, it was right across the street from my house when I was living on Urquhart Street, and I didn't feel it. But there was something was going on with my wrist because I couldn't exercise it back. So my aunt brought me to the hospital, and she found out that the wrist was broken. And I felt the guy breaking the bone because he had to break the bone to set it in the cast again. And I had a cast all the way up from my hand, all the way up to my shoulders.
Oh.
And it was. I mean, I was 7 years old when I broke my arm.
And
so I was very young.
Okay. Yeah, I've
So
never
when he broke,
heard that somebody breaking a bone of any culture would not holler. I would
Are
think
you
that
talking
breaking
about
a
when they break plates?
bone would be bone plates. Bone is a
No, as in literal plates, as in plates you eat off of.
Oh.
They break plates.
No. They talk. No. We talking about body parts.
I know you were talking about body parts.
Never heard of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did hear about that, but I can't remember where I heard that at. I mean, that's been years ago. I heard about it, but I heard about it years ago.
And
maybe
you sure
somebody
they weren't
might,
talking about China? That's what I was talking about. The police.
I don't know.
I've never heard of.
I don't know, Kim.
Of a thing.
I don't know, Kim, but I know it was body. I think it was body parts. They don't holler when they break something on them. So I don't know. I did hear that years ago, but I can't remember where I heard it from because that's been over 20 years ago. I heard that.
Now I'm going to be chasing this down all day to find out.
Well, Eddie's going to do a little more research on that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I am not. But, I've never heard of such a thing. And should we hear anything else about it, we'll give you an update. So that's all you have on tap for the weekend? You kind of just hanging inside, nothing else?
Yeah, I'm hanging inside, just mainly look at what's this football, this USFL football, and just chill out for the weekend.
Well, that is.
I do have some appointments to come up, but the appointments come up on the 15th and the 19th, I think.
Gotcha.
So I do have some appointments coming up.
Well,
but other than that, I have a quiet weekend.
Okay. No concerts.
And,
no concerts. You won't be watching any
I
pre-recorded
might
content?
watch. I don't know. I might. I might watch. No, I'm not gonna fool that. The movies I got yet to them, which I go in the hospital and come back home and watch those.
Gotcha. Well, we might see about getting you some other things to watch if you got to save that, because I don't want you to be stuck not having any entertainment until the surgery. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Eddie Francis.
Yes,
You have a
sir.
good weekend.
You
and
too,
stay
man.
out of trouble.
I'll
Stay out
try.
of trouble, Eddie Francis.
I'll try,
But
man.
you find something to get in.
And you make sure you have a good weekend too, Elwin. We look forward to hearing from you on Monday, okay?
Bye, Kim.
Bye, Elwin. Talk to you later. Y'all, it's Free Mind Friday. Bone, I know you're still looking for the bone, please.
No, I gave up on that.
You're
I
giving
gave
it a
up
rest?
on the bone because,
That's funny.
I don't know.
That is hilarious.
I have no idea
Y'all,
what's
stay
happening.
tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Didn't catch this morning's conversation? No worries. The Good Morning Show is now a podcast on all your favorite apps. Just search WBOK Media, find The Good Morning Show, and make it part of your daily routine. Download it, share it, and rate it 5 stars. Start your day with something real.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
The legendary Broadway show is back. The Wiz. The Chicago Tribune raves. It's an eye-popping, high-intensity revival and a cause for celebration. The music, the voices, the legend returns. Entertainment Weekly says, run, don't ease on down to this spectacular revival. The Wiz. Playing the Sanger Theater May 13th through 18th. Tickets at BroadwayInNewOrleans.com.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass are both Zoe and Nyron. Hey, Zoe. It is Free Your Mind Friday here on the Front Porch. And, of course, if you got something on your mind, want to get it off your chest, give us a call here, 504-582-9422. What's got your attention? What's going on this weekend?
Tomorrow, we got a couple of commencements tomorrow.
Okay.
So Dillard is moving theirs indoors to Franklin Avenue Baptist Church because they expect rain in the morning. So Dillard is going to be 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. But Suno's commencement is tomorrow at 11 a.m. You know who the commencement speaker is, huh?
No.
Jasmine Crockett.
Is she?
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett is Suno's commencement speaker.
Come on. They've been threatening Jasmine Crockett for her commencement speeches.
That's
I don't know if you saw that they had a problem with friends saying what she's saying, and she's not wrong. They just don't like what she's saying. But I love that for Suno. Suno is doing a whole lot of great things. I don't know if you heard that their athletic department has a baseball team that in its second year has gone to the Nationals.
No, they finished. They were the runners up in the HBCU athletic conference championship. They actually lost to Talladega, Nyron's alma mater. But yeah, no, they've actually done well. So here's the thing: that's funny. Right now, college baseball around the state is doing really, really well.
Okay.
A lot of teams are doing well. So you got LSU is doing well, but Southeastern has a really good team. McNeese State has a really good team, and Northwestern State has a good team. But Suno did well. Dillard actually did well in their first year.
Okay.
They actually won the conference championship their first year. Xavier had kind of an off year. But LSU Shreveport is 51-0. These jokers have not lost a game.
Who are they playing?
They're playing a conference, so they're in what's called the Red River Athletic Conference, and they've been playing. They've had competition, but they're just that good. And then LSU Eunice has a really good team. They're like 52-3 or something. But yeah, no, Suno. So I will plug this. I actually did interview a couple of weeks ago on The Way Forward, Chancellor Ammons from Suno.
Okay.
And so we talked about what they're doing as far as their nursing program. He talked about also the fact that Suno is going to be bringing track and field back in athletics, which is...
They normally had a lot of people who ran track at Suno.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of people from Barbados and Jamaica that
I was about
came
to say,
here to run track.
Suno's produce Olympians, and so they actually are going to be coming back. This is my favorite. I ran this by Chancellor Ammons. This is my favorite factoid about Suno sports. Suno is the only university in the state of Louisiana to have won national championships in both the NCAA and the NAIA.
Okay.
So they've won national championships in track and field in the 70s in the NCAA, and then in the 90s they won national championships. The women's team won three national championships in the 90s in track and field. So yeah, Suno keeps a bomb track. They keep a bomb track and field team.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that they're going to be getting that back next year. And they had the basketball team did okay this year, but they had one player on the team who was just lights out, and he actually is going to he transferred to UNO.
Oh, so he'll be under Master P's guidance.
Yeah. But and I forgot the young man's name, but he was just lights out for them. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, but I'm excited. And Samarium, she just noted that Suno's commencement is going to be live streamed tomorrow on YouTube. So I'm going to try to check that out because I really, really want to check out Jasmine Crockett. I want to hear her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites. I
love her.
I love Jasmine Crockett. Yeah.
I love that not only is she firm in what she says, she's knowledgeable about what she is saying. Like some people are just loud to get attention and they say things that are shocking and awful, but the things that she's saying are accurate and backed up by evidence. And I love that she's unapologetic about letting people know that, you know, what you're saying is inaccurate. What you're doing is illegal based on the laws that are in place.
She's a lawyer,
right? But at
the woman is a lawyer.
but we
She
have
practices.
some people who drink gallons of haterade that look like us and not. She's too loud. She's too this. She's all this neck popping and neck rolling. And it's like, but she's right. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were talking about people getting rewarded for bad behavior, her bad behavior that you could say is her delivery of things, she's actually accurate about what she's delivering.
So here's the thing. Here's where, and I don't get into this much. I really, really don't, because sometimes I have an issue with it. But here's where I think respectability politics bites us in the butt. And right now, what we need is people who are gonna fight.
Yes.
And she's fighting.
She did.
Now the problem is that people have her back way back. So what I don't like is that Crockett often has to fight by herself.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And the stuff about the neck rolling and whatever. I mean, it is what it is at this point. What do you want? What do you expect? Because honestly, trying to be nice and well put together hasn't worked out.
No, it has.
We've done that part.
We've not served us.
We've done the whole thing of being nice and put together. I'm going to argue my way, and my way of arguing is going to be somebody who is going to. I'm going to present myself in a certain way because that's who I am. But I need a Jasmine Crockett next to me too.
Yeah. And
so you can call it good cop, bad cop. You can call it polished, unpolished. You can call it what you want. But I think the gloves are off at this point.
They should be.
And she's doing what needs to be done, and she's approaching it the way she needs to approach it. Because the way I see it, she's the only one right now in the Democratic Party that has spine.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's showing some spine. She's showing backbone. And she is standing upright in what she's saying and how she's saying it. You may not like the style, but at this point, I think we're over style points.
Yes.
We're done with style points.
Yes.
So, yes.
I think that
I'll be checking out Representative Crockett tomorrow morning.
I think that right now, with the potential and the things that we see that are happening right now, if somebody doesn't say anything, we're definitely going out without a fight. And I don't like to go down without a fight. It really is. My daddy said, don't start no fight, but don't let nobody stand up there and whip you.
Yeah.
And right now, the Dems seem like, for the most part, as a collective, they are doing just that. They're doing just that. And that is so disappointing. When we were talking off air, I said that I am a liberal conservative because there's some things I feel like are working fine, but I do think that some changes need to be made when it comes to fairness, right? I don't think that I'm so liberal that everything needs to be sweepingly changed, because then you get rid of things that were working, that were beneficial for everybody, just to say, oh, we're going to do something completely all over. And then, like I said before, when we were talking about language, when you build up and get hung up on the language of things, you end up not getting anything done. We're just having a vocabulary conversation, which gets nothing moved. Keeping information short and concise, I think, is necessary right now, but also getting a message that is straightforward is necessary, and we lack that. Having the conversations about bathrooms. I think this gender should be able to go to this bathroom and only this gender. Okay, cool. But if that gender or the people who you're having conversations about their gender don't have anywhere to live, I think that's a more pressing conversation. Not that the conversation about where they go to the bathroom is not important, but I think the more pressing is to find these people somewhere to live, right? Having conversations about what people identify as. Listen, if you want to identify as a fire engine, a flower pot, or somebody with a teepee, are you able to do you have the skills, first of all, to earn a livable wage?
Right.
Do you have the ability that you're going to be able to provide a self-sustaining opportunity for you and yourself? Should you yourself and anybody that you bring forth, is that available, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see with the diminishing of education, the people with the most education or the most resources are saying education is not something that's important. Y'all should be afraid about that, but y'all aren't having
You should
conversations.
be terrified.
Yeah, y'all aren't having conversations about that. Again, how can we get to people having human rights? How can we get to people being safe? And if those two things aren't a start, the rest of these things don't even matter.
Right.
And considering the fact that the civil rights movement happened, 50, 60 years ago, like leaning towards
less than a
60 years,
century,
we still have not arrived at what the goal was. People have been able to obtain wealth. People have been able to obtain access. People have been able to access things that will cushion them from everyday issues. But the whole overall goal of civil rights, we still haven't accomplished yet.
It's hard. I forget what exactly. I can't remember the quote that Martin Luther King did when he acknowledged that all the work that went into civil rights, probably, while it was all great work and it all had meaning and it was for a reason, it was something about sending people into a burning building. I can't remember what he said, but he just got to this point where he acknowledges, like, we've done all this work, we've done all this stuff, we've done this movement, but the problem is that the country itself, the culture of the country itself, is rotten to the core. And so you can have all of these things, and the reason it's hard to find a resolution in something like civil rights is that civil rights is a collective issue. This is an individualistic country. And with the country being so individualistic, anything that is a collectivist attitude is going to get broken down, because all you got to do is go to people in a collective and say, hey, you aren't like the rest of them. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to make you rich. All you got to do is go in and bribe people. All you got to do is pick people out. All you got to do is go in and divide and conquer. And unfortunately, in this country, it is not hard at all to divide and conquer. That is not hard at all. It's actually very easy.
Yeah.
Because people, we just live in a society where people are going to just give in to their base instincts almost every single time. Every single time. And I think that's why we are where we are right now. And I think that's why, unfortunately, to your point, it's hard for something like civil rights to take root and to actually grow to the place where we need it to grow, so that people can enjoy their rights, their God-given rights. And so that's the thing that I find very, very, very frustrating. I've been actually, really beefing up on my leadership reading. And there is this book that I'm reading about leadership in diverse communities right now. And one of the contributors to the book is African. And she wrote about the Ubuntu principle.
Yeah, bring one. Is it reach back and bring one forward or something like that? Or we all move together or something?
Yeah, no, Ubuntu basically says, as I am, so are you. As you are, so am I. And basically what it means is that as a community, we exist together. And whatever you do is going to affect me. Whatever I do is going to affect you. And one of the points that she made is that is a principle that is really tough, really tough to sell in American society, because a lot of the principles of leadership was set by people who didn't believe in that in the first place. So these were people who all believed in rugged individualism. They all believed in, I'm going to get mine. You better figure out how to get yours, and so I think that's the thing that, I think that's the thing that has really, really been difficult about making sure that civil rights actually takes root and then actually grows to where it is meant to have grown.
Yeah, but I just for the things that get attention, and I mean distractions give you a rest of constantly being in a state of having anxiety. I don't think that we're acting on things that are gonna solve us or help us in the long run,
No, we're not.
and that
We're not.
makes me very worried because in legal terms we're moving backwards.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's part of what I was saying. If you have a collective of people who are all moving in the same direction, the problem is that the attitude, the root, the ethos of this country is individualism. So all you gotta do is go in and start breaking people up. And if you say, so this is what's been done to the black community from day one, right?
Hmm.
And that what's been done is, you're smarter than the rest of them. Come work in the house. They can stay in the field. You're smarter than the rest of them. So we're going to bring you into our community. You can have the membership to the golf club. You can do, you can do all that. You can make sure, and you're going to get rich. Now, the rest of them, can't speak for them. And I encourage you not to bother with them, but we're going to make you rich. Come to our school, come to our church, be a part of our association, be a part of this, because you're different from the rest of them.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, this country is based so much in, I got to do for me and you got to figure out how to do for you, rather than I got to do for me and I'll show you how to do for you, because the healthier you are, the healthier I am. The healthier I am, the healthier you are. We just don't exist in that ethos, in this country, unfortunately. And it's been going through all this crap to make a lot of people actually realize that.
Hmm.
Because now, well, black folks, it's not like we were ever confused about it, but now you got a bunch of people who are going, hey, we're really selfish in this country. And the rest of us are going,
Duh.
yeah.
Duh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Duh.
That's what we've been trying to tell you. What other kind of person is going to enslave a whole group of people?
It's not just the enslavement,
But
right?
I mean, talking about the roots of
it's,
all of this
it's
stuff.
not just the enslavement. It is the fact that because you don't walk around saying the N word, or you don't walk around saying, vile things about other ethnicities, but you are just now looking around going, where I sit and what I have, I didn't do anything to get it other than exist. But because of your existence, and it's different from my existence, and you look like, or it seems as though that your works are they outshow or outperform the things that I've done, and you still haven't gotten here. That doesn't seem fair, but also I'm comfortable in it, so I'm not gonna make no waves about it. That's the piece, because people identifying it is not enough, right? You seeing that something is wrong is not enough. Okay, now that you have seen that this is an unfairness that you have been able to benefit from, what are you going to do? And if nothing, as things start to happen to you, I don't really want to hear you complaining about it.
Yeah. So what I'm really interested in finding out is, now that we have people, a swath of people who are fully aware of what is happening and what has always happened. Now I'm curious to see where people are going to take it, where people are going to actually go. And the thing that I fear the most, going back to Jasmine Crockett, what I fear the most, I see her fighting. And I see the rest of the Democrats standing behind her going, yeah.
But doing absolutely nothing.
But things get settled. We do away with all the mess that's happening right now, and then everybody completely forgets that Jasmine Crockett even existed. That's the part I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of people acting like she never said a mumbling word the whole time. And a whole bunch of people who were standing 5 rows back, they work their way up to the front after all this is settled.
After she's done all the hard work.
And they say, "Oh yeah, we did such a great job." And
No,
it's
you
like, "Yeah,
didn't. It
no,
wasn't you.
It's like I ain't even see your face. Who are you? Where you been? You know?" And now all of a sudden, you know, people, a different kind of erasure happens from people who we thought we could trust. Again.
That gives us another segue. We're going to talk about this on the other side of the break. Stay tuned to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
WBOK and LCMC Health are proud to present Keeping You Well Cafe. 60 minutes with LCMC Health, where the doctors speak directly to the people of New Orleans. LCMC Health is committed to improving the quality of care here in New Orleans, the Gulf South, and beyond. The Keeping You Well Cafe is another way for LCMC Health to engage with the community. At the Keeping You Well Cafe, LCMC Health joins WBOK and local businesses to answer your questions about wellness and health.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank. There's freedom here.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today, talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
This song, ladies and gentlemen, is a song we like to use to uplift everybody's spirits. Yeah, you know, when you climb in the mountains, things ain't quite going right in your life. Those trials and tribulations. Yeah, not everybody has the best life in the world, I know, but you know what? Things always get better. No matter how bad things are right now, they're always going to get better, all right? So we're going to jam with y'all on this too. Whenever things are bad for you, we want you to think of these 3 words: mercy, mercy, mercy.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass, bringing us back with some real funky music is none other than Nyron super producer Sanders on this Free Mind Friday. Oh my goodness, that was cool. I like that one. I like that song. You like that one too? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody got a birthday coming up, huh? Countdown. Somebody got a birthday. Yeah. So when your birthday? No, it's not Zoe's birthday. It's yours. It's coming up. It's not yet, but I it's on my radar. Countdown. How old will you be this year? Yeah, 35. I'll just play. Boy, 25.
25.
Yep.
25.
Yep. 2000 baby. So I'm moving with the years. Clearly, like on target. On target.
So wait, when is your birthday?
May 19th.
May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yes. 25. 25 was a fun
Getting
year.
out the way.
25 was
Time
a
to go
fun
get a
year.
job, boy.
I'll plead the fifth. I could have went somewhere with that one, but I ask me no questions. I tell you no lies. Listen, I love that. I love it. So now that the weekend is here, the weather is not showing that it's going to show up real good for this Mother's Day weekend.
This is
Some
not
people-
weekend weather.
No, it is not. And last week it was pretty cool.
It was.
It was pretty cool. You had what was it? Rainy late Friday, but it was kind of chill on Saturday, and then you had
I wasn't even in
Sunday.
town. I don't remember. So what was the weather here? I was out of town.
It was okay. We didn't have the traditional mudslide at Jazz Fest last.
Oh, you
weekend.
didn't?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
It
okay.
was okay. It did. I think it rained like Friday evening and maybe a little bit Saturday morning, but the rest of Saturday was pretty cool.
So I had to explain to my dear wife, who's not from New Orleans.
Okay.
I had to explain to her. She said, "Well, what happens when because she's never been to Jazz Fest when it rains."
Oh.
And she said, "What happens?" I said, "Oh, for some people it turns into Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
For other people, we put our ponchos on and we go sit down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people might have an umbrella, whatever." I said, "But some people it turns into Woodstock. It depends on how hard it rains." And she was like, "Who does that?" And I just looked at her.
the
Ma'am,
same people who
Ma'am, who was at Woodstock, ma'am?
who sit in not potholes in the
Oh,
in the
goodness.
sinkholes when it fills up with water. The same.
Okay,
the same
so
kind.
that is disgusting, by the way.
It's a petri dish.
That is disgusting. When I see that,
Petri
I'm
dish
like,
with
what
skin
is
soup.
wrong with you? Why would you do that?
Well.
Oh, goodness. I can feel the germs. I can feel the germs. I can feel them.
The petri dish and skin soup at the same time. And they put on their bathing suits, not
I
hazmat
know.
suits.
I have
They
seen
put on
that.
their bathing suits to go sit in that petri dish.
Yeah. That's
But
God, that's disgusting.
It is Mother's Day weekend for those of you who
Mhm.
are celebrating with your mothers or being celebrated as mothers. Happy early Mother's Day to all of you.
Do you have expectations for Sunday?
There have already been plans made.
Oh, okay, good.
For Mother's Day, Mother's Day it. So I'm not sad this year,
Mhm.
which it depends on how the wave hits me.
Mhm.
I can be sad on Mother's Day, but I am still a mom, and there's still a desire to celebrate me as a mom. But it's one of those holidays that because my mom is not here, it's like, thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
it can
thank
be
you.
it can be tough. I think about my mother every Mother's Day. I think about my dad every Father's Day. Yeah. So when I was asking their plans, I mean, do the children have assignments for Mother's Day?
They don't, right? Because our kids already do certain things daily or weekly.
Mhm.
I don't do the majority of the cooking in my house anymore.
Okay.
They do.
Okay.
Like they take care of that. On the weekend,
That's
breakfast
cool.
is cooked by
Mhm.
one of them. I pretty much do the holiday cooking at this point. And it goes by faster because they do some of the prep work as well.
I was about to say that's beautiful.
They do a lot of the prep work for that, but no, I did send them a video, Imari and CJ,
Mhm.
of just a reminder that this this Sunday is Mother's Day, and this is the size of the needle that goes into your mom's back for an epidural. I did send them that, like, just in case y'all forgot. Like, you know, there was a lot that brought you here, and that
the
was
old
just
guilt
one
trip.
of them. Yeah, that was just one
The
of them.
old guilt
But
trip.
outside of that, no, because there's not a lot. There's not a whole lot of things that it takes to impress me or make me happy. And that's been another thing about this week that that has been impressive about the students and the gifts this week, right? I love Snapple peach tea. A parent and kid got me a 6-pack of Snapple, and like I was so super excited about that, you know, because that's something that I like. Where for some people that might have been like, oh, they got me a Snapple peach. No, you got me Snapple peach tea. That is like a wonder. I drink Starbucks pretty frequently, so that I got Starbucks gift cards and I got a gift card to Chick-fil-A. That's practical things, or things that that will influence my daily life. That makes me happy. But like out of the like big displays and things like that, if it's only for one day, then it's not a consistent thing. So that's not really a marvel. The pens, I told you, I was like, look at my pens, and you like, okay, no, I like that kind of stuff.
No, pens.
So
I can get it to pens.
so for things that I like on a regular basis, or things that you paid attention to that I like, those things make a huge difference. And I think for the most part, our life is set up that way. Yeah.
Okay.
So those things, but no, plans have been made for in honor of the day, and I appreciate that.
Oh, that's cool.
I for sure appreciate that. I just enjoy I like being with my crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
would hate to have some big thing put together, and it's like I really just want to be left alone.
So I know women like that. I know women who are just like, everybody leave me alone. Everybody leave the house.
Yeah,
just go.
No.
You know,
I'm glad.
And lock the
like
door
that.
on your way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know women like that too. So that's interesting. I mean, so this year Father's Day is going to fall on my birthday.
Really?
So yeah, every so often that's what happens. And my
you
dad.
Get 2 gifts, or do you only get the one?
You know I get one.
Oh man, is it a
It's
nice
Father's
gift?
Day. It's Father's Day.
Is
so,
it a nice gift for your birthday?
Last year I got a very nice Father's Day gift. I got an incredible Father's Day gift last year, which because it was so incredible that I told my wife, okay, listen, it's my birthday gift actually. So I said, since this is such an incredible gift, it's going to count for Father's Day and Christmas.
Okay.
I was that happy with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was that happy with it.
And there's quite a distance between your birthday and Christmas.
So
So that must
there
have
is.
been
Yeah,
it
was a dope gift. So I was just like, oh yeah, no, don't worry about me for Christmas. It's fine. You got it covered. So no, I mean, you know, I'm gonna get something cool. I always get something cool. And but I'm like you. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be expensive. It has to have meaning.
Yeah.
And you know, Dr. Halima is a great gift giver.
Okay.
She's great at it because she always puts thought into it, and it always has some kind of real meaning to it. And of course, sometimes I have to hear what the story is behind it, which is great. This is cool. And so yeah, so I know whatever it is, I'm gonna be happy with it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I hope that people get what they wish for this Mother's Day and then Father's Day that follows. But like for me, it's not quite the same since my mom has transitioned, and then my dad, the first Father's Day was awful.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Because you replay those conversations with your parents about those things. But now, I'm happy to spend the time with the kiddos. I like them. I like my husband. You know, I like him a lot.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to just hanging out with them and having conversations with that. But y'all, stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. New Schools for New Orleans is committed to celebrating the hardworking teachers of New Orleans. Thank you to all the educators who came out to the 4th annual NOLA Teacher Fest at Champion Square. We had over 2,000 attendees. Special thank you to our sponsors, Allstate Sugar Bowl, Entergy New Orleans, Raising Cane's, Align Ed New Orleans, Agenda for Children, and Oshner Children's for their commitment and support. Teachers and school leaders, enjoy the summer break.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black pastors in Grand Rapids, Michigan are disappointed but not surprised at the jury's deadlock in Christopher Scher's trial for the murder of black man Patrick Lyoya. Pastor Jerry Bishop of Life Quest Urban Outreach says the justice system needs changes.
The question is where do we go from here? There would have been no victory regardless of the outcome. Our city is fractured.
Bishop called for justice system reforms, including police training and mental health investments. President Trump is considering raising income taxes on wealthy Americans to fund the 2017 tax breaks set to expire next year. Congress is debating a budget package to extend those tax breaks. And Netflix is rolling out a redesign for its homepage on TV screens, the first big makeover since 2013. Starting next week, the page will feature fewer titles and more videos. Company officials say the goal is a sleeker design. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass is Naira, and bringing us back with some good old funky music here on the Front Porch on this Free Your Mind Friday. Of course, it is Free Your Mind Friday. And of course, if you have something on your mind and you want to get it off your chest, give us a call. 504-582-9422 it is kind of dreary for us heading into the full swing of the weekend.
Yeah, it is.
I
So
don't
the
love
weather, the weather is going to be kind of iffy. So let me see. We are looking at possible storms this evening, probably 1.5 to 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Could get windy, could get damaging, could get some hail, could be on a tornado watch.
Okay.
Got a risk of flooding. And then tomorrow and Sunday, they're looking at some possible showers and a chance of thunderstorms. This is all from NOLA.com. So, yeah, it is kind of dreary. I feel like I'm partially responsible.
Oh, no. Why do you say that?
Well, because the other day, talking about the weather, I said, we haven't had one of those crazy weather springs. And as soon as I said that,
and here it comes. Well,
that night.
I don't know that you have the.
Oh no, it's about me. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, the craft to send for it. But I mean, right now we had rainy weather, and I mean it's May, so
yeah,
this is around the time we expect to get some weather because April wasn't extremely rainy.
Well, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
usually maybe about mid-March it'll start to get funky.
Mhm.
But then April is almost always funky all the way through sometimes.
Mhm.
I mean, forget about April showers. We get April rain.
Yeah,
Just rain.
exactly that. Rain.
And
Definitely not
storms
just little
and
sprinkles. It is normally like monsoon.
So yeah,
in
April was
but
unusual.
It was kind of light.
It was unusually calm,
Mhm.
for April. So yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I'm looking in the comments and y'all are as usual either sharing information or sharing crazies. Chuck said that a tornado hit parts of Monroe, Louisiana on Tuesday evening, but it didn't touch his area of the city.
I hope people are right. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mark says that this is his first Mother's Day without his mom. He said he doesn't know how it's going to work for him. Just know that our love is with you, Mark.
Yeah.
This is my 11th, I think. No, this is my 13th because it'll almost be 3 years since my dad passed. My mom passed in 2012. So
it's 25 for me.
don't force it.
Yeah.
Just feel your feelings and move through and with it. Josh said Starbucks coffee. Who got Louis Vuitton shoes? Not me. But he said, I got it. Loan a brother $8.15. That's pretty specific, Josh. That's pretty specific. And Mark said his wife's Mother's Day gift is a trip to Honolulu, so she's gone.
Oh.
He said his mom isn't here, so he's on his own. Again, our love and support to you. Let's see. I want to get into this comment because I see that Josh was nice to his friend in the chat because Josh knows he could kill you. He said, that's why God gave you a wife, Mark. Lean on her for that support the best you can. I'm going to read that out loud because, Josh, we definitely call you out on the things that you say, but he's always fair on his distribution of his commentary. But
he is.
He said, I'm thinking that he said, I can remember the May 8th, 1995 flood. I remember where I was with that flood.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I remember exactly where I was. It's an interesting story.
It's an interesting story.
I was at the club.
Okay.
Sleeping on a pool table. Whispers.
Not whispers. Wait a minute. Hold on. And that was a weekday.
Uh-huh.
In the club at Whispers.
It was a Thursday, I think, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I think it was a Thursday.
I know it was a weekday.
So here's a story. So I was actually doing a broadcast. I was actually in promotions at the time.
Okay.
With one of the radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
And Nisha Thomas.
I remember Nisha Thomas.
Nisha Thomas was broadcasting.
Okay.
So I had to go earlier today, or earlier in that day. It was a Thursday. I had to go earlier in that day to go do a broadcast. Drove the van, blah, 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 looking at the clouds. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to rain. It's going to really rain. But I had not been told whether or not the gig was off.
Okay.
So Eddie being Eddie, I'm like, oh, work calls, got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to the club. I meet Nisha there, who now goes by Nikki, her on-air name. But I meet Nisha there, and we're like, so we doing this? And I say, yeah, we
I
have been
haven't
told
gotten-
we have
right.
been told
I haven't
otherwise.
gotten word otherwise.
So we get to the club and they said, "Oh yeah, man. So we're not doing that thing. So y'all can go." It's like, "Are you sure?" So we get in touch with the radio station. The radio station's like, "Well, no, we're still on. We can't just not do it." And they say, "Yeah, but it's about to rain." Well, by the time we made up our minds that it was about to go, we looked outside and that parking lot was flooded
Mm-hmm.
because the rain had started coming down. And then we said, "Okay, well, we'll just let it slack up and we'll leave." 10 o'clock comes, still raining. 11 o'clock, still raining. It's close to midnight. And even the club owners are like, "Yeah, we're not going anywhere. So if y'all want to relax and just, whatever." I was like, "Fine." So I was like, "Well, I'm not sleeping on this floor because I know what happens on this floor.
Yes. You were not wrong.
I'm here every
in
week
making
for
that
happy
decision.
hour.
Mhm.
I'm not sleeping on this floor."
Mhm.
So I curled up on a
On
pool table.
On the pool table in Whispers.
I played pool first, but yeah, I played pool and then I curled up on the pool table. Nisha slept on the pool table too, not with me. She
Right,
slept on another one.
Yes.
I
there
just
were-
want to be clear.
What was it, like 2 or 4? I feel like there were pairs of pool tables that
I
were
think they're
in.
about. I want to say two or three.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 or 3. Yeah.
Okay. That is crazy. That's where you were. I was working at Blockbuster
Uh-oh.
on Gentilly and Elysian Fields, and my car.
That Blockbuster used to be the spot.
That was the Dillard students used to come
Yep.
there. People who lived, of course, in the neighborhood came there. But
Me.
at $2 Tuesday, they used to have lines in Blockbuster, and so I had just bought my first car. I think I may have had my car a few weeks, and no, maybe like 2 weeks, because I bought my car on my birthday. The day before my birthday, let me drive it off the lot. The day before my birthday, so that was April 26, 1995, and my brand new car, May 5th, 1995, it got water on inside the car, and we were I was even parked on the incline of the side of that building.
Yeah.
There, and they still had water that got inside my car, but it was we spent the night inside of Blockbuster eating snacks. Because you had all the movie size snacks in Blockbuster, so we ate the candy, and we popped popcorn while the power was still on. Yeah, it wasn't the most nutritious, and plus we had sodas in there too. So we ate and listened to the rain and watched all the flooding, all the water collect. But in that particular part of town, it's not difficult for it to flood. It had flooded. I lived on Gentilly. I lived on Spain Street in Gentilly between Mirabeau and Fillmore. And I remember coming home one time and seeing the water like coming up the driveway, because it just didn't take a whole lot for it to flood in that part of town. But I do know that for the most part, if you worked at Blockbuster, whether you were the one on Claiborne, the one on the east, wherever you were stuck at Blockbuster, because we didn't close till midnight anyway, so we weren't going anywhere.
Yeah, because it was so it wasn't just that part of town, but then South Claiborne. As you get close to Carrollton, it floods pretty bad around there. And the joke, I mean, I'm sure people still say it. It's like, you better not spill a cup of water, it's gonna flood.
Yeah.
Don't not
And
a Gentilly leisure field.
As much work as they've done on Claiborne, and as much work as they've done in areas where it still floods, it's like, well, what work are y'all doing other than just paving the area? Remember Claiborne, North and South Claiborne, they did like all of this underground waterworks kind of work for like, were they up there for like 10 years? I feel
It was forever.
And it's still,
It was Claiborne and then Napoleon too.
Yeah, and it still floods. Like, what is the deal? Why are we still having these problems? And you can't blame it on this current mayor, because this was happening long time ago, and it happened for quite a long time. And you still getting, like you said, a cup of water, it's gonna flood. It's crazy flooding.
It does. It floods. It floods crazy. I know I'm gonna start something when I say this, but one day when it came down really hard. This had to be 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying, oh, it's a doggone shame. The pumps aren't working. It's the pumps. Poor Calvin Mackey, my boy, gets on Facebook. And people know he is Dr. Calvin Mackey. He is Calvin Mackey, PhD.
Yes.
A scientist.
Yes.
He runs STEM NOLA.
Yes, he does.
This man knows STEM. He made the attempt to explain to people what was happening.
Okay.
And he said, well, it's the rate of the rainfall, and the pumps can't keep up even if they're working at full capacity. The rate of the rain is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And people told the scientist with a PhD from Georgia Tech that he was wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did they offer some reasons why he was wrong? Like,
yeah, the pumps. They were like, no, Calvin, the pumps just ain't working right.
Nothing else to offer.
And I was
just
like,
the pump.
And I jumped in and I was just like, the man is only a scientist. He knows what he's talking about.
That's his only thing that he can stand forward, that he is a scientist from an accredited place and he's done research with this kind of.
And he was a professor. He taught it. He taught science.
Why not?
And I was like, y'all are down bad for this. This man is a science. He is qualified to speak on this topic.
This is what he does.
This is what he does.
In
And y'all
real life.
told him, no, you wrong.
You wrong because it's the pumps.
They straight up told him he was wrong.
Well, people be peopling.
Well, Facebook, everybody has a PhD in something.
Yeah, and Google University. Did you like during the pandemic, they really, really showed how smart they were.
You're right.
Via Google and Bing and Yahoo search engine universities. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's and it's not like.
Is that confirmation bias, I think, is what
confirmation bias. Yeah, everybody, you're right. Everybody has their doctorates from Google University, except they don't have PhDs. They have FRDs.
And it ends
doctorate
up,
for
that
a
ends
doctor
up
for
into
real.
FAFO because you didn't listen to the people who actually knew they were talking about. Crazy, and crazy. My goodness. Josh said Baptist Hospital got flooded a lot. It's the way Baptist Hospital is set up. It lends itself to that.
Yeah.
Which is why they have a lot of their like air conditioned HVAC that's above ground, because the way it's set up, it literally has a basement. So in that basement in New Orleans, those things should never go together. Not ever.
Yeah.
Josh said it's naturally New Orleans to give an expert pushback on anything pertaining to New Orleans.
I swear. He's right. I agree.
I hate that for us.
I agree.
I hate that for us.
It is so funny how people. So when it really shows itself with food.
Okay.
Because
we are food snobs.
You cannot say that you like something that somebody else dislikes, because you will get blasted, straight blasted, for liking something that somebody else does not like. And then they will talk to you like you kick somebody's mama in the stomach.
Is that specific to New Orleans, or is that just people?
No, we got it bad. We got it bad here. We put a little extra something on our disagreements over food here. It is bad.
We're unserious though.
So there's this place in Dallas. I want to say it's in Addison.
Okay.
It's in Addison called the Quarter Bar.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty much the only place in Dallas that I could find char-grilled oysters. And they're not they're good. They're good oysters. They're not New Orleans, so I know to only expect so much from them.
Okay.
But they're good oysters.
Okay.
So I messed around and gave them a good review on Yelp. Somebody from New Orleans saw the review, somebody who lives in Dallas, and she got upset. She didn't disagree. She got upset.
Okay.
And I got inboxed And her inbox
Those people
said,
are the worst.
her inbox said, how could you possibly think this place has good char-grilled oysters? I honestly, seriously have to wonder if you are actually from New Orleans writing a review like this.
Oh, boy. Well, we're going to put a pin in that because I want to hear how this ends.
There's no need to put a pin. It ended with me saying I am, and that was the end of it.
Oh, well, very good. Very good. We're going to take this break. Y'all stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning and happy Friday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at today's headlines. The world continues to react to the stunning news that a U.S.-born man has been selected as the new leader of the Catholic Church. Pope Leo XIV was born in Chicago, but local historians tell WDSU he has Creole ties to the Crescent City. According to U.S. Census data, the Pope's grandparents married at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Church on Annette Street back in 1887 and lived in the 7th Ward until they left for Chicago in the early 1900s. And today, the faithful of New Orleans will hold a Mass of Thanksgiving in honor of the new pontiff. That Mass is open to the public. It is happening at noon at the St. Louis Cathedral, and it will be led by Archbishop Gregory Amond. Finally, the results are in again. The renewal of an Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office millage is held up following a recount yesterday. In fact, OPSO learned they received a few extra votes through the process. The parish clerk of court says after the recount, the millage actually passed by 4 votes, not 2, as previously reported last Saturday. The outcome of that recount means the millage is renewed for another 10 years. It provides funding for several programs, plus maintenance and staffing. And that's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News. Have a great day and a better weekend.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. In 2009, Lanny Smith was looking forward to a bright career in pro basketball. He had just wrapped up a successful run on the court in college and signed a deal with the Sacramento Kings when a devastating knee injury ended his career.
It's something that, man, I still have nights that I struggle with, you know what I mean? Because it was so much a part of my life, man. I went into a deep depression of trying to figure out who was I without this game of basketball.
Smith shifted his focus away from athletics and into building Actively Black. It's a value-driven athleisure company that Smith uses as a vessel to empower people in underserved communities.
Giving back to the community, uplifting the community is really the focus and the purpose for Actively Black. I look at the clothes as just like the vehicle in which we're doing this. You know, I've been saying we're not building an apparel brand. The clothes are just a uniform for the movement.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Something amazing is happening in networking. Organizations are scaling with less stress. That's because CDW is designing and implementing intelligent HPE Aruba networking solutions that simplify and secure operations. With automation at the center of your data center, growing pains can be a thing of the past. HPE Aruba Networking and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Aruba.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Father's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for dads and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And on the other side of the glass, we have none other than Nyron Sanders, keeping us moving with a little bit of ain't gonna study war no more. The president who said he was the non-war president has 3 different wars going on right now.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
To be expected.
Yeah, well, you know, people like what they like. They want the white man to be, well, he's orange, technically, to be in leadership. And now he's leading y'all down the street, down to see the devil down in Georgia and beyond. It is a hot mess going on. Economy is garbage. Gas is kind of leveled out. Eggs still high. Groceries haven't decreased. Education. What is the weird skinhead type fella? The one who said that students will no longer be taught to hate the United States. His name is
that
Steven.
dude.
Is it
Yeah,
Steven
yeah,
Miller
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what y'all said y'all wanted. Good job, y'all. And I say that with sarcasm because no, you didn't do a good job. Particularly those of you who didn't show up at all, and those of you who voted third party. You all have
Well,
yourselves to thank for that.
it's funny. You have the videos popping up of people who are saying, you know, I voted for him and I really wish I hadn't.
Shut up.
And I'm
Shut up
sitting there,
talking to me.
and I'm sitting there going, well, if you were woke, you would have seen this coming.
Nah.
You would have seen these troubles coming for you, but for others, we're fine. We're maintaining.
We knew this was coming.
We're maintaining.
This
I
was
mean,
the annoyance
it
we
is
did
what
not
it is.
want.
And I do have one. I do have one friend who, man, probably every week he'll send something going, "Oh man, this is horrible," and I'm going, "Dude, this is the plan. The plan is to overwhelm people with bad news."
Mm-hmm.
And the plan is to overwhelm us with bad news to take us out of our game, and to honestly, I think, make people lose hope.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I really honestly do not watch the news.
Okay.
I just don't.
That's
I don't
smart.
watch the news. I read the news, but I don't watch the news.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Delivery has a difference.
there's a big difference because this is, I used to do these PR workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And I should get back to doing it, but I used to do these PR workshops for small nonprofits and small businesses. And one of the things that I would always tell people is the difference between the way print media and broadcast media, particularly TV, will report news is that, think of it this way. TV, they got to get it in because they only have so much time. So what they're going to do is they are going to come out you loud, hard, and fast.
Okay.
Because they got to get it out. 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 And they have to get people to watch. And so the way they deliver is going to be a specific way.
Okay.
Don't think of it as a good thing or a bad thing. Just think of it as it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with newspapers, especially for people who still like to pick up a hard copy newspaper,
Okay.
they have the luxury of space and they have the luxury of time. So they're going to try to go a little bit more in depth, and the way they report, they're going to try to be a bit more measured. Now, that depends a lot of times also on the editor, what kinds of editors they have. And the editors a lot of times are going to determine how that's delivered too. So if you have a print reporter who is thoughtful and they want to tell the news a certain way, but the editor is breathing down their necks to do it a certain way, then they're going to have trouble doing that. So there's that too. And then now we see there are complications when it comes to ownership too, especially with print media.
Mm-hmm. Bezos
and so
is one of the owners of
Washington
publication,
Post.
and people
Is it
are
Washington
leaving.
Post or Los Angeles Times? I can't
It
remember.
might be the LA Times.
Okay, yeah. So so you have that with ownership, which honestly, that's not new.
Okay.
As far as the ownership of media having an agenda, there's nothing new about that's been from the very beginning.
Okay.
Once upon a time, you had television stations and other news outlets that were owned by politicians. And so, because I think Lyndon B. Johnson might have owned the television station or something in Texas. So this is not new for people who own media outlets to have agendas and to push those agendas. Once upon a time, you had this thing called yellow journalism, and I can't remember exactly what happened with yellow journalism. My professors are going to kill me for this, but my old professors, but the bottom line being that these were people who owned media outlets and they had agendas. I think William Randolph Hearst was one of them.
Okay.
They had agendas with these. And so what we're seeing, honestly, is nothing new. But what's going to happen, though, is that when you have people who understand how to use those outlets, such as the current administration, they're going to pour stuff into it all the time. And even if the media outlet, especially broadcast, even if they're saying, well, no, we're gonna we're going to take it easy on how we report the news. If they get overwhelmed by the highest office in the land, which they are getting overwhelmed with information and news from the highest office in the land, they're going to be at this point where they're going to say, well, if we don't report it, then blah, blah, blah. If we do report it, blah, blah, blah. And I think some of these outlets are probably feeling as if, and I will say this for the most ethical editors and the most ethical folks who are running these outlets, I think even they feel as if they're in a damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. Because if they do report things in the most sensible way, they might not move product. They might not get the clicks.
The sale of ad space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they might not move papers. They might not get the clicks. They might not get the ad sales. And so I do empathize with some of the folks who are in news media, because I really do feel that a lot of them are in a damned if you do, damned if you don't position right now. But there are those who they're full of crap too. So you got them.
Well, I feel like even before this administration was came about or came into fruition, we had people who were already skewing news and not telling the full information. So adding this piece to it, or the feeling bullied by it, you were already teetering on not giving full coverages because, or not giving good information because you would like to present the most salacious of things because that's what gives the most clicks and views. And so unfortunately, the media used to be a resource that you could trust, and something that you could have conversations about and not feel secure on the information that you were sharing or discussing. But now it just seems like these are great fiction stories that are being shared, or stories that are so skewed that you almost have to be a really good judge of linguistics to understand what the meat of the message was. Like the salaciousness and the sale of how people are being given the information is just it's real skanky.
Yeah.
For less of a better.
I mean, I think, this. So what we're looking at from the current administration, though, is something that we have never seen in this generation. It's been happening. I was talking to somebody who said, well, if you look at the Reagan years, it really wasn't all that much different. It just wasn't as loud as it was. But when things did calm down, and you did have media practices were very different. They were very, very, because it used to be that a reporter reported and that's it. You were not supposed to editorialize your stuff at all in any way, shape, or form.
Because you had somebody to do that. You
Right.
had a person who gave their
So that's why
editorials.
you had a columnist, and that's why you had other people who would do opinion columns, right? But I do think that part of what happened in modern times, when I say modern times, I'm going to say the past 30 to 40 years.
Okay.
Fox News changed a whole lot of stuff.
Ooh.
Because Rupert Murdoch had an agenda, and he was never shy about it. And he made his agenda known to everybody what Fox News was going to be about. Conservative news that pushed a conservative agenda. He's never hidden that. They've never hidden that. There's never been a secret about it. I remember when Fox News started, and I remember saying, you mean to tell me you want me to watch news from the same network that brings me Bart Simpson?
Right.
Right. I was just like, no, I'm not watching that. And when I started watching, and I watched a couple of episodes or something, and I was like, no, this is not how. I'm not watching this. Because you could just see where it was headed, from when it started in the 90s. It just wasn't a secret. But journalistic ethics have changed too, and I do think that social media has changed a lot of journalistic ethics as well, because this is one of those things where you do look at the fact that people have been fighting for clicks. Twitter became the battleground for a lot of it. You would just see tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet, and you had to fight for attention. And so, I think a lot of the news outlets just flat out decided to
join in.
They decided to jump in.
We're going to join them. But the unfortunate thing of it is that, like, we still have people who still trust the media, and we have the people who now are having the confirmation bias and are leaning into things that are clearly not so. Like, this is right in front of your face. This is what is being told to you is a lie, but because this suits your way of thinking or suits your idea or makes you comfortable, then you're gonna go with that and go with it as fact. While in the long run, you end up looking crazy.
Yeah. And I think what it is that there are people who still want to believe that media outlets and reporters are going to do the right thing. You have them too, because they're going, well, they got, I've actually heard people say, well, they got to report this the right way, right? And it's like, no, they don't have to do anything. These are privately run companies. None of these companies, they are not obligated, quite frankly, to report the news the way you want it reported. What they're obligated to do is move units. That's what they got to do, unfortunately. Now, again, there is such a thing as journalistic ethics, but it's just like when we say all the time, all I got to do is stay black and die. We say that. So if you are running a business, if it's XYZ, if it's the Eddie Journal, and I'm running this thing, and I get to a point where I'm going, well, I don't want to shut this down. My journal employs about 200 people. We've had a really good run. We're making some good money. I got to figure out how to keep this thing going. Then tough decisions wind up happening. And I get to the point where I'm going, what I got to do is I got to keep these people employed. What I got to do is I got to keep this thing running. So what do I have to do without breaking it too bad? And that for some people, that's an easy decision. For me, which is why I don't own some kind of media outlet, because I know it comes to that.
Right.
Then
and so that seems to be what's applied across many different areas of professions.
Oh yeah.
The same is done in food safety. The same is done in manufacturing. The same is done in education. Because when I tell you right now, the shorts that have been taken, and in the short run, it seems like, everything is going to be okay. But right now, like, alarm bells should be sounding, because I don't see how we're going to undo what's being done right now. Or this section of people are not going to be able to escape are going to have a very difficult time escaping the confines that they're being pigeonholed into right now.
So this is why every time I see people say, yay, look at Harvard fighting back, I get a good belly laugh off of that. Because I always say to myself, they didn't have this much fighting them when they said that they had Claudine Gay's back. They said they had her back. I didn't see all this fight. But see, now the funding is threatened.
Right.
Now they're being attacked. And now they got some backbone. Now they're standing on business. They're standing on business.
As I've said before, every hooker got a price. And right now, a lot of y'all looking like y'all $5 worth. All right, we got to take this break. Y'all stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Today is a WDSU First Warning Weather Impact Day. Rain expected throughout the day, possibly heavy at times that could lead to some flash flooding. We also have a chance to see a few storms that could turn severe. Rain starts to let up this evening, becoming more spotty by midnight. Highs today only in the mid-70s. Hit or miss showers throughout the weekend. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com. Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
This summer, let your child's creativity shine at Camp Art, New Orleans' most vibrant, arts-driven camp experience for kids ages 4 to 12. Hosted by Beyond the Stage, Camp Art blends visual art, theater, music, dance, and creative writing with New Orleans history and culture. Plus, field trips, guest artists, and camper showcases. With full-day programming before and after care and sessions starting June 9th, it's the perfect fit for working parents. Fun, enriching, unforgettable. Register now at BeyondTheStageLLC.com/Camp Art and follow us on social media at Beyond the Stage LLC.
Hello, I'm Gary Clark. Please tune in to Dr. Clark 101, The Living Classroom, which is broadcasted weekly every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on WBOK 12:30 a.m. on your dial. And as always, it's been a pleasure.
This is Jackie Jones with Class Act Entertainment. Join us on May 11th at the Honor Thy Mother Theater Brunch in partnership with WBOK at the Jean Lafitte Auditorium. Experience the red carpet with live interviews and photo ops, along with a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Highlighting the afternoon is the original stage play, Mama. The finale, live concert with Piano Man G. Get your tickets at 504-491-1179.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology. See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
See that evening sun go down. Well, I hate to see that evening sun go down, 'cause it makes me feel like I'm on my last go round. Yeah, if I'm feeling tomorrow, baby, like I feel today. Yeah, feeling tomorrow, baby, like I feel today. I'm gonna St. Louis woman with all her diamond ring. Yeah, she drags that man round by her apron string. Twice for powder, all that snowball there. Yeah, that man she loved, he wouldn't go nowhere, nowhere.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kim White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis. Good morning.
And we're going to jump right back to the telephone lines. Hello, Josh.
Good morning, Kimber and Eddie. How y'all doing?
We're
Or
doing
good
all
afternoon,
right.
almost.
We're doing all right. We're staying out of the rain so far.
Man, hey, y'all speak about that journalism. Remind me of the last episode of the last season of The Wire. Man, that last season of The Wire was so good.
Oh, yeah.
It covered all of that stuff.
It did.
Or like how media was pushing the politician agendas and the falsehood in the media and stuff. Man, they just don't have a show like that no more on TV. That is a good show.
So, man, what was so captivating about that last season when they would have all the arguments they had in the newsroom?
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, so did you know? So Josh, did you know this that there were always scenes in The Wire when they showed everybody reading the hard copies of the newspapers?
No. You know what? No, I can't really recollect on that because I remember Bub selling the paper. But back then, the paper was being read a lot before the internet, though.
It was. So it was interesting because the guy who wrote The Wire is an old journalist. He's an old reporter.
Oh.
So what he did was in a bunch of scenes, like there were a bunch of scenes in the police station when they would all be sitting in the same room. There would be 4 people in the room, and all 4 of them would be reading a hard copy of a newspaper. So he deliberately planted those scenes to remind people or to encourage people to read the newspaper.
Oh, never knew that.
Yeah,
Never
man.
knew
I saw that. I forgot what I was watching, but I think he did an interview with somebody or something, or it might have been one of the commentaries after one of the shows when the guy mentioned that. I forgot the cat who wrote the show, but yeah, he did that deliberately.
Yeah, he was great. That dude was masterful.
Yeah.
And his whole team, because they cover that drug aspect from the shores to the hood to the politicians to the kids in school. Man, all around.
Yeah.
He depicted it spot on to me.
He did. But you're right. That last season when they really, really got into the media and the newspaper, I was like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, no, right? And then you see how politicians ran now, and you're like, yo, The Wire was clairvoyant. Well, not really clairvoyant. They were just letting them give us insight.
Yeah.
On how this stuff really goes down. I'm like, yo, that's a good show. That was a good show.
You ever talk to anybody from Baltimore and ask them about it?
No, I don't know no one from Baltimore.
Really?
I've met a few people from Baltimore, and I've asked all of them how accurate The Wire was, and only one person said, "Well, I don't think it was all that accurate." But the other people, like maybe 4 or 5 of them, they were like, "Oh yeah, it was accurate."
Yeah, I could believe so. I'm sorry, Kimber. I just have a certain, I can't say dislike, but I ain't cool with them putting seasoning on the outside of the shell.
No, that's gross.
That makes no sense.
No, that is gross.
That's what they do up there in Baltimore. So I can't really talk to y'all people. Y'all wrong. Y'all ain't right in the head.
They're very they lean into like their drawn butter and stuff like that. They tend to lean into those kind of things, which for us, if you boil it and the seasoning is within the share, we don't really have to worry about that.
No.
And then they question, they sit there and criticize how we do it, saying that we're doing it wrong for us crab wise.
But you don't eat the shell, so like science. It's
All I
science.
know,
You don't eat the shell, so if putting season on. I've been somewhere else. I've been in Nashville where they had season on the outside, and I was like, well, what good is that gonna do when the meat is on the inside? This is
But if I tell you what, if I was a dentist coming out of dinner school, going straight to Baltimore. You can't tell me they keep no seats alone.
I'm sure there are quite a few other places that you can go to and find that their practices are just they're weird. They're weird.
I know. Just saying, just that particular thing about them people, like, that makes no sense to me. Y'all swear by it too. That and Old Bay. What's the Old Bay?
I don't even know what the draw is about that because I've used it and it's just not all that. It's weird.
It's just what I'm saying. It's basic. It's basic to us, but they swear by it.
Yeah,
I do. By it. So
I do like the crab cakes though. The lump crab cakes
because they have
I
larger
like that.
crabs to get.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
that's cool, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I do like a good crab cake.
Yeah, but once we got a hold of that thing, it's way better than what they thought they could do with it.
Well, keep in mind that New Orleans is older than America, so anything that we've done, we practiced it a lot longer. We have far refined with any old regular stuff that they're doing around there. So we they have a long ways to catch up. A long ways, and they
that's the only problem I got with them. That's all. They said to me when they questioned our seafood cooking experience, the way we do it. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, I be have my teeth tight. Then like, y'all need to get out of my face. Y'all can't even say the word you.
Well,
they can't even say the word you.
And we hope you have a good weekend.
You.
Yes,
you ask the Baltimore person to say you. Watch what they tell you.
Okay, I hear you. Well, have a good weekend here, Josh.
All right, have a good
talk
weekend.
To you later. All right.
Later.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that we've been doing a lot longer. I don't even know why we engage in the conversations with people who are just getting their sea legs. Again, New Orleans is older than America. Yeah, literally.
See what you did there.
Yeah, like we have been doing this for a very long time, and let them people figure out what it is that they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. Let them figure it out in a horrible way. But don't stop coming here to try and change what we do here. That is what aggravates my life. Stop trying to change what it is that we do here in this city because we've had a long enough time cultivating the culture that is New Orleans. Everywhere else is Cleveland. It is.
See what you did there too, Tennessee Williams.
There you go. Well, y'all, we thank you for joining us here on the Front Porch and giving us 3 hours of your life that you will never get back. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree.
And I'm Eddie Francis.
And on the other side of the glass is Naira. And make sure to do something nice for somebody else because it's a nice thing to do. And it is Mother's Day. Check on people who may not have mothers to celebrate or are missing their own. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see y'all on the flip.
Latest.